You can say to that is amen. Do we have a new definition of hip hop and rap and all that tonight? That's what's possible. That's what's possible. I'm asking everybody, it took us about 60 meetings to get here, and we're running to the end. But we want to take a few more minutes to acknowledge the folks that have brought us this far and acknowledge what the commitments have been made to move us to the next step. Can we do that? Moving from paper to possibility, from complaint to possibility, and moving from planning to implementation. We want to thank all of our partners in the House. Again, the Centers for Victims of Violence and Crime, who have provided a show every second Saturday. Stephanie, please stand up. We want everybody to just keep on going here and stand up, please. CCAC, Community College, for helping to fund some of the early work. I know Rick Adams has been in the house. Is the president in the house? I know he was. I'm going to be with him in the morning. Cynthia Baldwin for helping to set up the meeting that led to tonight's work. The Hill House Association has hosted our meetings so graciously. Evan Frazier, the president, CEO, he's just a beautiful human being. A big hand for the Hill House and Evan. One Hood, our partners in initiating the February 8th news conference. Strategy 95, the folks from the past, some of whom are still with us in the present and in the future. The YWCA of Greater Pittsburgh, Deborah Mason's in the house, helping to print our document for tonight, the update. We want you to read this when you go home tonight or tomorrow. We gave you a 6-page update of some of the implementation that has taken place, is about to take place, and will take place. I'm going to ask anyone who's in the house from Duquesne University, the president is still with us. Mr. Charles Doherty, would you come forward? And Dr. Evan Stoddard on behalf of Duquesne University. And do we have the University of Pittsburgh people in the house? Would you please come forward, Dr. Charles Doherty and Evan Stoddard, who's chaired our committee. We certainly want to acknowledge the fabulous committee who has worked very closely with us. The names are all in your book to expedite a piece of time. Would you open that up for us? We want to, Valerie, would you present that? This is Jeannie Beckham, our administrative assistant for B-Pep. It says the Coalition Against Violence salutes Dr. Charles J. Doherty, president, and Duquesne University for hosting the July 8, 2008 event to officially introduce to the public the 3 documents of the Coalition Against Violence. Very special thanks to the university's committee for this event, Dr. Evan Stoddard, chair, Karen Ferrick-Roman, Ronald Gigliotti, Ramon Hart, Mary McIntyre, Dr. Emma Mosley, Ms. Rose Ravazio, Dr. Stephen, who's in the house. Is he still here? And Karen White. Would you give them all a hand? Thanks for your contribution to Pittsburgh 250, a city with less violence. Thank you very much. They have been absolutely fabulous. And we have a special presentation for our friends at the University of Pittsburgh. The University of Pittsburgh put in our first 7,000 copies of the initial document, the Coalition's Role of the Family and the Community Manifesto, and now have printed an updated version, 5,000 copies of that, 5,000 copies of the full document, and 5,000 copies of our community directory. Would you give the university a hand so they can hear us? The university, Mark Nordenberg has been fabulous. The Vice Chancellor, both G. Reynolds Clark and Robert Hill, they've been our strong partners. So we thank them so much, and we will get that to them. They weren't expecting that excitement. And before I forget, I want all the folks in the house who have been at any of the Coalition Against Violence meetings since February 8th, 2007, would you just please stand where you are? And the rest of us, would you please give our folks a hand who are in the house tonight, many of whom sat through meeting after meeting after meeting. As we leave tonight, we want you to know that the Coalition Against Violence documents are documents in action. One of the problems that happens with very nice documents, they look nice, they sound good, but they don't do much. The Coalition Against Violence, Rip Nixon, is committed to that not happening. Are we not? We've talked about it. These documents will not sit on tables, will not sit on chairs and in closets. We are calling upon everybody in the room to read the document. If you don't want to read the whole document, read your portion. We've made it easy. There's a table of contents in the 71-page document of hundreds of strategies. You can go to your piece. What we ask you to do is take it, move on it. Those who have already begun to move, we thank our media sources who have already provided interviews both in print, in radio, and on television. We thank the president of United Way, Bob Nelkin, who's committed to have his staff look at our document and see how the agencies throughout Pittsburgh can assist us in implementation. The great Esther Bush, would you please stand, the president, CEO of the Urban League of Pittsburgh, my friend for many years. She has committed to send a personal communication to every agency and organization in Pittsburgh saying, read the document, move on it, and do something. Great quote in our handout today. Stan Caldwell, are you still in the House? The executive director of Senator Arlen Specter, would you please stand? He actually sat in a meeting for 2.5 hours. He didn't know what he was getting into. He's committed for the senator's office to take our document to Washington, D.C. and see how these strategies can move from paper to possibility. Greta Stokes Tucker of the Black Catholic Ministries will move our document from paper to possibility. We have Dr. Joanne Burley in the House, the executive director of the Pittsburgh Council on Higher Education. She has sat in several of my meetings. Stand up, Dr. Burley. She has committed the Pittsburgh Council on Higher Education to take the document, move it from paper to possibility. Kay Chase Patterson from the Congressman Doyle's office, would you please stand? He and I talked today. He said they will take the document and move it from paper to possibility. We have in the House tonight Roxanne, because her name is usually said second, and Luther Sewell. Luther Sewell, the publisher, editor of Talk Magazine and Minority Opinion Magazine, they've made a great commitment. In their future publications, they will take sections of our document in several of the future publications and put those pieces in to their documents. In addition, Luther committed this week that Talk Magazine and Minority Opinion Magazine will host a special forum with college representatives from the region with which they operate on a regular basis. And he will pay for that, fund it, host it. Give him a hand. Stand up, please. Luther Sewell and Roxanne. The Pittsburgh Courier has already put into their paper several months ago our initial document, and Rod Dawson and I spoke, I believe it was yesterday, and they've committed to continue to look at how the new Pittsburgh Courier can partner. And this week, last Wednesday, they put on the front of their paper something that they had been doing to show us the numbers of people being killed in this area, to let us keep it in our face, to let us know this is a living reality that we must confront on a daily basis. Give it up for the new Pittsburgh Courier. Sonia Toller from the governor's office informed me yesterday her office will make sure that these documents are examined by the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania to see how these strategies can be implemented, possibly throughout the Commonwealth. Give a hand for Sonia Toller. Reverend John Welsh from Penn has already committed to partner with the Coalition Against Violence, and we with them, on seeing how the communities of faith can partner with the coalition to get work done that's ongoing and impactful. Give a hand to Pittsburgh Interfaith Impact Network. Dr. Larry E. Davis of the School of Social Work, and our Vice Chancellor of the University of Pittsburgh, and the Chief of Staff, Reynolds Clark, have committed for the university to develop methodologies for implementing the document. Give a hand to the University of Pittsburgh. Dr. Alex Johnson, the president of CCAC, represented tonight by the great Rick Adams. They have sent us, I believe, 5 pages, am I right, Lois, Tony McClendon, of strategies that they are now beginning to move in action as we speak. Give it up for CCAC. Terry Miller, the executive director of the Pittsburgh Institute of Politics, has committed early on to have that institute look at these documents and see what they can do to make sure these documents are not just documents, but they're strategies being implemented. Give a hand to the executive director of the Pittsburgh Institute of Politics, Terry Miller. Linda Lane, the deputy superintendent of schools, spoke with me yesterday. The school system has been working on looking at these documents. They, in 2 weeks, will give us specifics of how the school system of Pittsburgh will move our several pages of strategies from paper to possibility. Give it up for Dr. Linda Lane, the deputy superintendent for the school system of Pittsburgh. Doug Shields, our president of council, has committed to help host a special forum in city council so that the city of Pittsburgh can begin to move our document from paper to possibility. Give it up for Doug Shields and city council. Ed Gainey from the mayor's office has been here tonight. He is committed to work with the Coalition Against Violence and see how we can get some new energy in the 52 Weeks of Peace initiative of the city of Pittsburgh and Nate Harper and the Bureau of Police. And Nate's father has died this week, and the viewing is tonight, by the way. But let's give a hand for that commitment for coalition, the coalition between the Coalition Against Violence, the city of Pittsburgh. Jane Downing is here, the Senior Program Officer for Economic and Community Development for the Pittsburgh Foundation, along with, that's your new president. Is that your new president? Kevin Jacobs from the Pittsburgh Foundation. I'm trying to elevate you. You look like a president. Give him a hand, he looks like a president. But the Pittsburgh Foundation is already beginning to look at how they can put some funding behind something that we need to move our document, ladies and gentlemen, from paper to possibility. Give it up for the Pittsburgh Foundation. And how they can assist other foundations in looking to see how they can support the various initiatives throughout the city, the county, and the region. Our friends at WQED have committed to host a media summit on violence, ladies and gentlemen. And we not only, the commitment is made, we have a date. August 20th from 8:30 to noon. My cousin, Vice President of Production, Daryl Ford Williams, is in the house. WQED, George Miles, has made that commitment. Thank you so much. WPXI, Ray Carter is out of town, the Vice President General Manager. Will all the Channel 11 people please stand? They have committed to do a special 1 hour on the work of the Coalition Against Violence and all of the stakeholders, and they are partnering to make this a document in action. Thank you so much. The YWCA has sent us several action items saying that they will support the Coalition Against Violence by continuing and expanding our program related to issues that cause stress, strife, frustration, and disenfranchisement in our community. Through our panel discussions, training, facilitation, we will be champions for moving from complaint to possibility. Give a hand to Deborah Mason and the YWCA of Greater Pittsburgh. We are almost through, as the ministers say, and we want to thank all of our partners putting this document or these documents on their websites. B-Pep, the YWCA of Greater Pittsburgh, Communities in Action for Peace, Center for Victims of Violence and Crimes, the Urban League of Pittsburgh, Greater Pittsburgh, the Hill House Association, the PACT Initiative, One Hood, and others will be added. So tonight we have seen, we have heard, we have felt, have we not? And we know when we leave tonight, Pittsburgh, Allegheny County, and this region will not be the same because you were here tonight and because you made a commitment. I want everybody to stand as we bring Valerie Dixon to the stage in a special tribute. We ask that no one leave because we're finishing this up in tribute to those who have died. We know we've taken a little time, but as I said, it took us about 60 minutes to get here, 60 meetings to get here.